Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my therapist something bad about my mom? Original post. Hello Reddit. I have mixed feelings concerning something that happened today, and I need to know what I should do. Okay, so my mom, 46 female, and I, 16 female, go to therapy together. On Wednesday, I forgot to take my ADHD meds, and I was really hungry. I texted my mom to bring me some food before lunch, and she did. She dropped it off with a note and $20 to pay for my school dance ticket. The note was a reminder that I had therapy that day and to come to the front of the school at 2:30. My appointment is at 3. I ate my lunch, bought my ticket, and then it was my last class, 2 hours later. I was in my math class when I glanced at the clock and saw it was 2:36. I explained my situation to my teacher, and even without a pass, she let me go. I packed up my stuff and made my way to the front of the school. I was going slowly because, frankly, I didn't want to go to therapy that day. This was my first mistake. As I approached my mom's car from the school, nothing seemed amiss. I opened the door and was struggling to get my backpack into the front seat. I dropped my phone and bent to pick it up when my mom snapped at me. She was angry that I had ignored her texts and calls. It is our state law that there are no phones in school, and that I had taken my sweet time walking out to the car. As usual, she gave me an angry long lecture. I don't remember exactly what she said, but here were the bullet points. We are now going to be late. You can't keep thinking the world will accommodate you. Your ADHD is not an excuse. You are too old to lose track of time. I literally sent you an in-person note. You should have remembered. I was crying the whole time on the drive to therapy. And when we arrived, I tried my best to suck it up. I really did. But unlike other times, I couldn't. I think I could have if I had 15 minutes to calm myself down. At that moment, I could only wipe my tears away. Digging my nails into my palms and fingers didn't even work this time. Oh, and by the way, we ended up being 5 minutes late to my appointment. Anyway, my therapist obviously noticed I was crying and tactfully decided to unpack that. My mom usually sits in on my sessions, but I asked her to leave, and she did with no fuss. My therapist asked why I was crying, and I told her the whole story. She validated my feelings by saying things like, "That sounds hard. Does this happen often? And how do you think your mom is feeling?" etc. I opened up and recounted some other incidents. I'm not going into detail, but here is a summary. The cookie incident. I made cookies for an event, and feeling overwhelmed, I snapped at my brother and said he couldn't have one before dinner. He is the youngest child and went to my mom, and she got really mad at me for parenting her kid. About a week later, my dad brought home crumble cookies, and my siblings and I started to dig in. My mom came down and got mad that we were eating before dinner. My sister daringly pointed out that it was hypocritical of her to get mad at our family when she had made a big deal about the opposite a week ago. I admire my sister's bravery at that moment. My mom stormed upstairs and sulked. Dinner that night was quite awkward. Now the incident that happened last summer, 4 months ago. We went to a backyard summer party. My brother and I were the only kids there, so we played tag together. I was faster than him, and he wanted to add a cool-down rule on tags. I didn't want that because it was working out great for me being faster than him. We eventually left, and I got shotgun. My brother went to whine and lied to my mom about what I did. As we drove home, my mom took out her frustration on me in the front seat. I had had enough and finally started arguing back. Big mistake. She delivered what I think was her final line. "If you're going to act like a child, I'm going to treat you like one." My mom slapped my face hard. My nose started bleeding. She grabbed my nose to stop the bleeding, but she was pinching it hard. I said something like, "How do you treat children?" Anyway, I told the therapist, and she had to make a mandatory report. She sent me out to talk to my mom. She said she wouldn't tell her what I said, but I guess she did. My mom was angry and crying on the way home. She said things like, "I hope this is what you wanted. You know I'll be taken away, right?" And, "I can't believe you did this to get back at me." She took my school dance ticket, ripped it up, and threw it out the window. Then she dumped my backpack out onto our driveway and told me to clean up my mess. I spent the rest of the day trying to avoid my mom. She went to take my brother somewhere, and I told my dad everything when he came home. I was a crying, puffy-eyed mess. I went to my friend's house to watch a movie. That's where I'm writing this from. I really need to know how badly I messed up. Please help. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. I think this one is above Reddit's pay grade, but it's not at all wrong that you shared your feelings and experiences with your therapist. Also, generally, your parent usually shouldn't sit in on your sessions anyway. They're private, and you need to feel safe and comfortable. Regardless of all this, it's unacceptable that your mother hit you. I'm sorry. Please try to stay in touch with this therapist and with supportive teachers at school. It's unlikely you'll be taken away from your family, but I do hope you continue to get support. Hope you go talk a trusted teacher or adult at a school about your ticket. I'm sure a new one can be issued for you. Even if I got one of the only 500 tickets available, I doubt my mom will let me go. I know what I'm planning to do is bad, but if it allows me to go, I'll tell her that if I can't go, I'll tell my date exactly why. That might be leverage, but I don't know if I'll be brave enough for that. Not the a-hole. Your mom is totally in the wrong here. If she hadn't assaulted you, there would be nothing to report in the first place. I really hope your dad has your back here. He needs to protect you from her. He has tried his best, and I think today will be the test. I'll update you guys with how he responds. Let's just say I can't wait to turn 18. Please let your therapist know that your mom drove you to a parking lot to lecture and blame you for everything. There's no need to keep this a secret. Now for the first update. Okay, it's the next day. My mom refused to drive me to school, so I walked. Not a big deal. I went through the school day in a kind of detached state. My friends probably noticed something was wrong, but they didn't ask. Anyway, I was in my biology class doing homework when a vice principal pulled me out of class. While we were in the hallway, he said a CPS worker from the state was there along with a police officer. He said I wasn't in trouble. He asked if he could sit in on our conversation, and I said yes. He brought me into a quiet room with the officer and the CPS worker. They asked me a lot of questions. I'll do my best to recount them. Who do you live with? Do you know why you're here? Was the incident a standalone event? Do you feel safe? How are things at home? What are your parents' names? Just to name a few. To sum it up, I cried a little and asked what was going to happen. They said they had no intention of removing me or taking my mom away. I did mention what had happened after my appointment, ripping the ticket, dumping my backpack, just in case my mom was notified. Anyway, I had an awkward conversation with my school counselor, who tried to comfort me, but it wasn't working. I think my situation was above her pay grade. I went back to class and told my friend I was just moving my schedule around. I don't think she believed me. We played Uno. When school got out, I was walking home, along the road where my mom usually picks me up, and I saw her car. I was scared because when she's mad, she never picks me up or drives me where I need to go. She started with a half apology. She said something like, "I'm sorry I hit you, but if we're going to work through this, you need to tell me why you did this to me." I didn't respond. I was scared that if I told her my truth and she didn't like it, or if it wasn't good enough, I didn't know what would happen. She kept saying CPS was coming, and that it was so serious my dad was calling lawyers. Then I noticed that we weren't going home. She pulled over in a parking lot and lectured me for an hour. She said that I really messed things up, and that she wasn't willing to be a mother to me anymore. In defense, I told her that CPS had come, and it didn't seem that bad. She blew up at me for ratting her out again, and said she would never help me in school again, because everyone knows what she did. She called my dad and told him she can't do this anymore and that we need to send her away. I was silently crying through all of this. Anyway, she drove me home and went upstairs. I'm pretty sure I'll update again because I know she's not done yet. You need to talk to your father. If he doesn't do anything, tell your school counselor. She will notify CPS again. Your mom is not protecting you. She is abusing you. Not only is she physically abusive, but emotionally abusive too. She threatened OP that she wouldn't be their mother anymore because of the situation, instead of apologizing and promising to try to make things better. Also, she's making herself the victim. Why are you doing this to me? Look up DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. It's a common tactic abusers use on their victims. Okay, being a parent to a teen can be challenging, but your mother seems to be unusually violent in her outbursts. You have a dad you seem to be able to talk to, so that's a good thing. It is your mother's responsibility to act like an adult and parent as well as she can, so try not to take on what should be hers. I'm going to assume that the outcome of the CPS investigation will probably, at most, result in some parenting classes or something similar. I am glad you have a therapist. Second update. First, I want to thank all of you for your support throughout the hardest week of my life. You really are my internet gems. A few things to clear up. My dad is not the bad guy here. He's tried his best to protect us without damaging our image of my mother, and he's really stepped up. Now for the update. I wasn't able to update you immediately because my phone was taken away as punishment. The same day my mom took me to the parking lot to lecture me was the day it was taken. My dad stepped up later that night. After he got my side of the story, he confronted my mom and helped her see what she had really done. That was the first time in my life I had ever seen my father cry. My mom said she took back everything she said. Whatever that means, I don't even know. The damage is definitely still there. I'm allowed to go to winter formal, and all of my privileges have been restored. However, things are certainly never going to be back to normal, whatever normal I thought I was living in. I never want to live like that again. I have 2 more years before I leave for college, and I just have to stick it out until I can leave. I've been trying to bond more with my father. I don't really know how to end this update, but thank you for helping me see my mom for who she really is. It's too bad CPS couldn't recognize that OP is scared of her mother and ensure a safer environment. Once again, adults failed the child. I hope OP can be brave enough to set up an escape plan and develop a support system while implementing it. I could have written this in high school. My mom was suddenly a widow and decided that depending on me for emotional regulation and physically assaulting me was an appropriate means of parenting. Anything I did that made her look bad in public was paid back with screaming, pinching, and the silent treatment. I didn't go to anyone in our family because when my dad died, I was told over and over that it was my job to take care of my mom. So I pretended everything was fine. It took years of therapy, education, and physically moving away from my family to break away from the idea that I needed to take care of my mom. It's still really hard, and we have a strained relationship. I hope OP's enabling father gets his act together before he loses his kid. Hard same. For me, it was my parents not speaking for a decade and my mother deciding I was the emotional punching bag. And I've always known that my father will choose my mother over me no matter the situation. He 1000% loves her more than he loves me. My heart just breaks for this poor girl because unfortunately, unless her dad really steps the heck up, she's stuck until she can get out of that house. Last story. Am I the a-hole for reporting my sister and taking in her kids when no one believed me? I am a 32-year-old female, and I have a younger sister who is 28 years old. Growing up, she was always the favorite. She could do no wrong. If we fought, it was my fault. If she messed up, she was just sensitive. I learned early that challenging my sister meant I would automatically be the bad guy. My sister has 2 kids who are 8 and 5 years old. I do not have kids of my own. Over the years, I started noticing things that made me uncomfortable. Whenever my sister's kids came to my place, they would eat like they had not seen food in days. Not just growing kid hungry. I'm talking about asking if they could take bread home in their backpacks. My niece once whispered to me that sometimes they do not get dinner because my sister sleeps a lot. I did not want to jump to conclusions, but it kept happening. My sister's kids would show up in the same clothes for multiple visits. My nephew told me they sometimes only eat cereal because it is easy. One time, my niece said they had not eaten since Thursday night. It was Sunday afternoon. I brought it up gently to my sister, and she exploded. She accused me of trying to make her look bad because I supposedly cannot have what she has. For the record, I have never said I even want kids. My sister immediately called our parents crying. Within an hour, I was getting texts about how I needed to stop attacking her. I tried talking to my parents. They told me my sister is overwhelmed and that I have always been hard on her. That comment honestly hurt me. It felt like we were kids again. I was being scolded for not protecting my sister, the golden child. I could not ignore what I was seeing with my own eyes regarding the situation with my sister and her kids. So, after one weekend where my sister's kids stayed with me and ate constantly, and my niece told me they had not eaten in days, I documented everything. I made the call for a welfare check. I did not do it lightly. I was shaking the whole time, thinking about my sister and her kids. An investigation happened. My sister's kids were removed temporarily. Since I was the one who stepped forward and had space for them, they were placed with me. Their dad, my sister's ex, supported the concerns. He said he had tried raising issues before, but got shut down. Now my family is furious with me. My parents say I humiliated them and destroyed my sister's life. My sister is telling everyone I lied because I have always been jealous of her. Some relatives have even stopped speaking to me. My sister's kids have been with me for a week now. They do not panic about food anymore. They do not try to hide snacks. They actually sleep through the night. I am apparently the villain, the bad guy in this situation. I feel like I broke some family rule by going against my sister, the favorite. But I honestly do not know what I was supposed to do. Just ignore the situation with my sister and her kids? So I am asking, am I the a-hole for reporting my sister and taking in her kids? Not the a-hole. My brother did things to my daughter. He was a teenager, but she was a preschooler. I went to the police, and my whole family said the same thing yours did. You did the right thing for the ones who are important, the children. If he ever gains freedom, I sincerely hope people keep a close eye on him. To hurt someone so young, his preference might not change as he gets older. If he can be helped, I hope the government does everything they can to prevent future victims. I know someone who was caught doing something to his step-siblings. There was a significant age difference, and I don't know the specifics besides his plea deal getting him off the offender list. Years later, he's married with a daughter, and the wife found things on his phone that have him back in jail. He forms a strong part of my opinion that it's never a one-and-done thing if they acted. As a society, we have to protect children above all else. You're such a good woman with such a kind heart. Don't let anyone make you doubt yourself. You and those babies deserve happiness, peace, and all the yummy food in the world.